Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we invite you to take a break and listen to some boy band talk. My name is Diane.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Chinzia.
And we have a special guest today.
It's me.
It's Lydia.
Thanks for having me back again, guys. Wow.
So I want to jump right in because when I was planning this episode, I wrote a lot of notes. And so I feel like there could be a lot that everyone has to say. So we're just going to dive right into this.
Yes. Let's do this.
Yes, queen.
Unwritten fandom rules.
Like what, fan fiction?
Any fandom.
If you're a fan of anything.
Oh,
so
sorry.
I had talked about this briefly, and it just it amuses me greatly that regardless if you're a fan of the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or Twilight or whatever, there's like certain rules, unwritten rules that everybody follows.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, sorry.
And everyone, like, it's like you have to follow them or you're not a fan.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Or you're a big loser or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. And the point is that we were briefly discussing, and then we were like, we should totally do this for a podcast, is they're bullshit. Like, the rules are bullshit.
Yeah.
If you like a band, you like a band. You don't have to follow these stupid rules. Like, everything, it is what it is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
You're not more or less of a fan if you do something more than another person does or whatever.
Yeah. My
Exactly.
main thing when people talk about this is there's no wrong way to be a fan.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as you are supporting.
Unless you're like a crazy creeper who like breaks into people's houses and
steals
stuff.
them.
That's okay. That's the wrong
A
way.
little bit far.
That
yeah.
is-
Universally, everybody can agree that that's bad.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
It's
as long as
crossing
you
the
are
line.
supportive of the people and not
Crazy.
breaking into their house.
Yeah. All right.
You're not
Pretty
crazy.
much you're a fan.
That's a rule, and I feel like you're oppressing me and my fandom. Sorry,
So,
go ahead, Dee.
I just jotted down like a few things that I could think of, but you guys can feel free to add on. So some of the like boy band fandom rules seem to be, most importantly, you are not allowed to have their popular songs be your favorite song.
Nope.
Don't know why that is, but that is 100% a rule. If you're a
B-track
real
only.
fan,
Yeah.
you don't like their singles.
Yeah.
It has to be like
understand that.
a non-single, or even better, it has to be an unreleased song that
Oh.
they've never released.
Or it's like from like the album before they became
You don't
big.
know that song? Oh my god!
How dare you? Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's just stupid.
It is stupid.
What if I like that song? So what? I'm sure they pick their best songs to release as their singles.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So
for sure.
what's wrong with liking that song?
Nothing, because everybody else liked it too.
I want
Yeah.
it that way, guys. Like,
I feel like maybe people think if you say, for example, I Want It That Way is your favorite Backstreet Boys song, then it means that you don't really listen to the rest of their songs, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, because
That's
like
a dumb rule, I'm
that
sorry.
wasn't the Red album. That was like 2 albums later.
Yeah.
So that you hopped on the train late. I liked it when the
bandwagon
Red album.
jumpers. That's the big. Is that
Oh,
what
that's
you're
a big
saying?
bad one.
That's the thing is people always accuse other people of being bandwagon jumpers.
But why is that a
And
bad
okay,
thing?
let's just also point out the fact
Well,
that we have all fallen trapped to a lot of these rules.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
So
no, same.
I know we're not throw stones and glass houses
house,
or whatever,
yeah.
but I'm like, okay, we can agree that they're stupid rules.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Totes.
Okay.
Second one that I jotted down. You have to attend multiple concerts and events and VIPs, and if you don't do this, oh, I guess you're not a really big fan, or you're not as big of a fan as me, because I went to 10 shows and I bought 5 VIPs and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Not everyone's got money, friend.
and
right?
I can't be a fan.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
From home. I can't.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Like,
You can do whatever you want.
you know?
Do we enjoy going to lots of shows?
Yes,
Hell
it
yeah.
is.
Of course.
I probably
I'm just saying,
sound
like,
an
you guys
idiot
go to a lot of
because
stuff.
I do all that stuff. But my point is,
you don't shame people.
I don't shame other people for not doing
Right.
it. I
Oh my
do it
god, you couldn't go to
because-
Vegas? Ugh, what's wrong with you? Like,
Some
Vegas
people
is
can't-
expensive.
Some people
and
can't afford it, right?
And the
You can
point
only
is,
do
yes,
as much as you
I'm
can.
lucky enough to be able to do that. And I like doing it. I have friends to go with. And I know that we're lucky to be able to do that.
Definitely.
Everyone's not so lucky.
Agreed.
Exactly.
we don't have a lot of money and we do things on the cheap.
That too.
This is true.
We drive very far.
We budget very well.
I don't budget that well, but I still go.
I guess my point is you don't have to do it.
No, 100%.
You can still be a big fan and not attend 10,000 concerts.
Agreed.
You know?
Like for example,
But if you
I don't
do, it's
attend,
okay
but
too.
I
That's right.
buy a song on iTunes. And I'm like, there's my 99-cent contribution.
And that's your support for the band.
Yes.
And that's great.
Yes.
Yes.
Some people don't have money for that either. They just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
They
and
get
just
the
for the
views
views
up. The
up.
views
That's right.
help.
Yeah,
Like
they do.
everything.
Every little bit counts.
Oh, yeah.
Third one I wrote down is that you need to, quote, stan them on social media, and you need to love everything that they do and agree with them and defend them against anyone who says anything bad.
Oh, dear. Is this like the Brian Littrell Donald Trump thing that we're talking about?
It's
No,
any boy
there's many
band.
things.
Yeah.
It's not just that one.
Okay,
There's
cool.
lots of things.
There's lots of things with any band, and I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
thinking like even
they're-
One Direction, right?
Right.
Like everything these guys do in the eyes of the Directioners is like perfect.
Right.
Yeah. So
and they're human beings. Like as much as
it's like, I pooped in a cup. Oh my God, he's such a genius.
no, like I didn't Harry Styles puke on the side of a highway once, and people were taking pictures with his puke. Like I feel like this was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, that's gross.
Ew.
That's gross. We love Nick Carter, but if dude puked on our shoe, we'd be like, dude, what
Get
the
away
fuck?
from
Get me new
us.
shoes. Like this
Yeah.
is not like.
This is not good.
Like you don't. Here's the thing that.
And if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. Like obviously certain things come up, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not getting in an argument about this on the internet because
Exactly.
I don't know them and I don't know the full story, and I'm not getting involved in certain things.
Yes.
If, for example, let's just say New Kids on the Block release a new song and I don't like it, I'm like, not my fave. Probably I should choose not to say anything.
True.
But if I choose to be like, not my favorite, while I'm like discussing with my friends, you know, you don't need to come in my mentions and be like, damn you, you're not a New Kids on the Block
How
fan.
dare you.
Donnie hates you now.
Yeah, like, not everything can be gold, and that's
Exactly,
fine.
yeah.
It's like a photographer. Like during a photo shoot, you will take 300 pictures, and maybe you'll have 5 that come out nice. You know what I mean? But like, just because that's the case, it doesn't mean that a garbage song can be a garbage song, and it's okay to call it out on it, but not in our social climate. Because if you voice your opinion, people go nutty.
Yes.
100%. So that's
People
why you need like
totally
a group
attack you.
chat with your friends where you can be like, oh my God, what the hell was that song? And then you'd be like, but other people like on the internet just put anything and then they
But again, it doesn't mean I'm
But you should be allowed to like say,
I'm
you know
not
what?
a fan.
I hate Siberia. I really think that's a terrible Backstreet Boys song.
How
People
dare
love
you?
that song.
My heart
Putting it
spent
out
time
there.
in Siberia.
And
Putting it
you
out
can,
there.
like, okay, Lydia brought it up. Brian from the Backstreet Boys supports Donald Trump. I think most people in this room don't agree with that.
That is correct.
But
It doesn't mean I'm not a fan of Brian.
That's
True.
right.
I just disagree with his political opinions. I don't think
Which
it's
we
bad.
don't even
but
live in
also
his
we are
country, so
not
it doesn't
Americans.
matter.
Yeah, so it's like we only know what media tells us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I don't know. Anything
Whatever.
else
I think
you
it's
guys
fine.
can think of that are like unwritten rules? I don't want to monopolize the conversation.
Oh, no. May I put forth Aaron Carter?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Not
if,
really in a boy band, but we'll take
Well,
it.
yeah, I know.
Well,
he's
he's a
an
boy band
offshoot.
adjacent.
He's an
Yes,
offshoot of
yes.
a boy band. So just he makes some very questionable life choices, and especially he will vent all of this on Twitter.
Yes.
And so like to a normal person, you'd be like, this person perhaps seems a little bit unstable, but to a fan, like, oh my God, yes, this is great. Oh, I heard your compilation of you flushing the toilet. It was the greatest thing ever. I cried. I named my child after it. It's just like, okay, like
too far.
okay, that's just a very that's an example that didn't actually happen, but just like
Well, who knows? People
love their
never know.
fandoms, and it's just like, that's not everyone's opinion, but social media allows everyone to vent their opinion, and so it's a very strange climate we live in right now.
Yes.
Because there is no open discussion. Like there is this is my opinion, and if you disagree, I'm going to block you. And there's no open communication, right? Not like, hey Aaron, like maybe if you did not that he cares what I have to say anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I'd like to preface this that Lydia was a huge Aaron fan as a child, like huge.
That's okay. That's
and
okay,
now,
yeah.
obviously, in later in life, not so much. And again, that's okay. You
Also
can be
fine,
you can be a fan of someone at a certain stage in your life, and then later on be like, "What the hell did this person end up doing?" or whatever, and that's okay.
Like the passage of
Exactly.
time stops for no one, right? So like his time has changed him.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's gone through
And
a lot of serious life changes.
Yeah.
So that made him changes. Obviously, he's not going to be the.
He's not going to be the same 12-year-old boy that
impossible.
whatever.
Impossible.
Right.
And yeah, exactly.
Yes.
The other boy bands are not going to be the same 20-year-old
No.
guys as they're in their 30s and 40s.
No.
Like,
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
You're
even
not the same person you were.
No,
Some people
definitely
grow
not.
up and they get
Yes.
I hope everybody has a job, but they get married and have children or whatever, and then some people just stop listening to the band. And I have a lot of good friends that I've met over the years that no longer listen to the music, but I still hang out with them. So that's I feel like that's another thing. Like, if you're in the fandom, you have to be in it for life, and that is so 100% not true.
Yeah,
like,
you can come in and out.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah, just I find I'm not sure if you guys know who PewDiePie is, right? But like
YouTuber?
yeah, he's a YouTuber, right? So then so in 2012, like he was kind of like at the height of like his looks and like his popularity, and this was all before like the whole Wall Street Journal, oh, he's a Nazi kind of thing came in, and that's when his
His stock
it
became
started
plunged.
started to plunge, right?
Yes.
So now like he's just kind of like has gruff grown out beard, he's a little bit more cynical and stuff like that, and then people are always like, I miss 2013 PewDiePie. And then so he went on video, he's like, you know what, I miss him too, but this is where I am now, so we
Right.
have to accept.
2018.
Everybody
He's
changes.
like if you really like 2013 PewDiePie, you can go back and watch my videos, but that's not who I am today. So it's evolving. Life evolves.
Move with the cheese.
Move with the cheese.
Yes.
If you watch The Bachelor, that was like a big thing. Where they were
What?
like, you gotta move with the cheese. So the cheese is not always gonna be where you left it. And so
What?
What?
Just
Can
not-
you
just
explain that?
Are they
smile.
mice?
Babel? Like, is it rolling?
But why are you moving with the cheese?
it's a joke. It's really off
Because
topic.
the cheese is not move. It doesn't
But
move.
people-
Cheese
Move the
stands
cheese.
alone, guys.
Oh, dear.
that
Okay.
one I know.
Okay.
at least.
Oh, that's another
That
thing
one I
that you
know.
can't make jokes
Oh
or
my
have
God.
inside
Yes.
jokes with
Not on
various
social media.
members because people lose their minds.
'Cause they don't
Do we want to
understand the
explain that
context.
one? Do we want to even
yeah,
go there?
we won't like divulge too many
Yeah, don't
details.
say like too many.
We
jokes or
enjoy
whatever, but-
making funny signs when we
Yes.
meet the boys and making them hold the signs or we'll hold the signs.
The Backstreet
And-
Boys.
Sorry, the Backstreet
Okay.
Boys.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
We're entertaining.
And this is the first time I've ever seen it actually like somebody
Well,
took the picture.
and let's back up a little bit. We mentioned this earlier today. We've had the opportunity to meet the Backstreet Boys many times, specifically meet Nick's many of times, and so we happen to know that like he has a good sense of humor, and you can joke around with him, and you can essentially make fun of him, and he thinks it's funny.
He thinks it's hilarious because
Right.
we'll like discuss it with it ahead of time. Like, hey, dude, we're gonna do this. He's like, sure, whatever. And he always like we don't say you're doing this, you blah blah blah. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to hold this sign. He's always like, okay, cool. And then he'll like make a face at the end or whatever. So it's anyway. So some people thought that we were being very rude to him in this particular picture and were calling us out on it.
yeah, I didn't
the
understand that.
most
really.
shocking
It was
part
weird.
to me was that like
It was totally taken out of
guess it
context.
was- if you saw the picture out of context and you don't know who we are, you might be like, wow, that's a bit much.
But if you looked at the next
But
picture,
if you look
he's smiling and hugging us. So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we
And
did not offend
The
him.
thing was, the people who were calling us out know who we are, and so they know it's a joke. It was just whatever. The most mind-boggling part to me was that they were literally making up lies. Like, they were literally saying, Nick was so disappointed afterwards, and it seemed like he wanted to cry.
If
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
I'm
him, I would have
sure.
left
I'm
the meet and
sure.
greet. I'm like, oh, okay
Yeah,
there, buddy.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know?
we have another picture where Diane and I are hitting him with baseball bats because he told us to.
Yeah.
We were at a Walking Dead convention. We're like, dude, we need like something to like, we need a new idea. And he's like, whoa, look around. I'm like, we're not here for The Walking Dead. We're here for you. And he's like, well, look at the props. I'm like, what? Like one of those like bat thingies? He's like, did you just call it a bat thingy? I'm like Lucille? And he's like, okay, you've redeemed yourself. But sure, yeah, get Lucille for the picture. So then, even though I said bat thingy, I made him hold a sign saying they brought those bat thingies, and we had MacGyvered some bats
From like Five Below,
we
right?
went to Five Below, got some cheap stuff and paint and duct tape and made them, and then like pretended to hit him, and it was like a hilarious picture. And
Yeah.
it's just fun. It's fun times.
Like,
but-
I said this the other day on Twitter. If you're not having fun in your fandom, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
and
yeah.
I find that a lot of people go in with very high expectations and get disappointed, and like especially for things like the cruises or stuff like that. And
sure.
honestly, go in with low expectations and just go in that you're enjoying your time with your friends. And if stuff happens, it happens. And that's pretty much.
And the thing is, yeah, like for us growing up with these boy bands, we were a little bit, I'm going to say lucky.
We
that
never
did
thought we
not
would
have
absolutely
social media.
Yeah.
So you didn't
Yeah.
know what other people were doing. You didn't know the experiences they were having. Right.
And-
so there was no like, well, I met them this. And like, I never knew that Shinzia was meeting in sync in 1997. Eight.
Yeah.
April 17th.
Right. So no one could be jealous of Shinzia, and Shinzia couldn't alternatively be like, well, I've met them and you haven't, so I must be a bigger
Right.
fan.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. I know.
Because nobody was having that conversation.
I have a theory about the rules of the fandom.
Oh, yes.
Again, bringing it back to my fave Lou Pearlman. I'm sorry, this man
The
is
Franco
legend.
sisters have something about
This man is legend. Okay, you know what? It would be like. Okay, I'll explain.
just
I'll
get to
explain
your-
later. I'll explain later why I like Lou so much. But like, I don't. I do. He's fucking weird.
Okay.
Anyways, so he generated hate for money.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
like he made you like in high school. You couldn't like Backstreet and NSYNC. You had to like one or the other. How
Yes.
dare you like both? Because
you could secretly like them, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
definitely could not. So even though we didn't have social media, we had our
That's
lockers
true, we
and
did
stuff,
have-
Yes.
and you could only put Backstreet Boys pictures in there or
yeah.
in sync.
The
Yeah.
essentially-
Boy band wars.
Maybe
man,
throw a little
wow.
low town because again, second
They were
favorite.
everyone's second favorite.
yeah.
Yes.
But-
And if you had a group of friends. Only one of them could like Nick Carter. You can't
Yes,
take Nick.
that's
Nick's
true.
mine. Nick's
Oh,
my
yes,
husband.
That's definitely
Aaron's
true.
like, I guess I'll take Howie then, because like there's no no
I
offense
had
to the
Chris, and Chris was mine.
Yes,
Yes.
Nobody fought me on that one.
No one
fought
fought
you
you on
for
that,
Chris.
buddy.
And my theory, like legit, I was like, you bitches are all dumb because only like 10% of the fans like Chris. Everybody else, like, I would say 50% like Justin, whatever. So my odds with Chris are way better than your odds with Justin, was my thought process.
You could have married him.
No, his wife is like my age. And I was like,
Cynthia,
what?
you should have texted him when we were in Florida and he was at the
I
karaoke bar.
didn't have his phone number.
You
I don't
didn't
know why
need
you
his
think-
phone number. You could have tweeted him and be like, hey.
And
we're
Lydia's
like in the
this,
room
we're
next
going
door."
off topic.
Okay,
Anyways.
sorry. Just like, he could have been your husband. But okay. Like,
Probably
you were
not.
the closest,
His wife
man.
is lovely,
You were the
so-
closest.
Yeah, his wife.
Okay.
is
Funny
nice.
story though, when I started being a fan of Backstreet Boys, all my friends liked Brian, and so I thought Brian was like the
hot
hot
singer.
one that everyone liked, and I was like, I'm the only loser who likes Nick. Wrong. I was like, oh
That's
well, guess that was a mistake.
I remember liking Nick and being like, oh my God, I actually like the popular one of the group. Like, this is crazy. Like, I usually go for the underdogs, which are a good boy band. But, but yeah, no, I don't know. I always felt bad. Like, CJ from 3 Deep was my favorite member of 3 Deep, which
Yes.
Yeah.
he sang and he was
Yeah,
very
right. He
talented.
was probably
but
the
the
only
two like
talented one.
beautiful, like Eddie
Yeah.
Cibrian and Josh Morrow, everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I love them. They're on soap operas. I was like, CJ's the man.
He's the one
love
running
him.
this show behind the
And
scenes.
I'm like,
Probably
he's the
true.
talented Canadian who sings. So hashtag CanCon. Hashtag Diane had no idea that CJ was in a boy
best
band
ever.
and literally thought I had a crush on one of Howie's friends who was
Yes.
a
He
manager.
Looks
It
very
was just
different
very
now.
funny when she
That
told
would-
us that.
Sorry,
I
that
was
would be the
like-
greatest person to have a crush on. Chunzia, they have access to the boy bands. The managers.
Exactly.
The managers. Whoever's listening to this, go date a manager.
Well, and
And I just have to
maybe
say
I'll
that
tell
I
him.
love CJ, and he actually miraculously appeared on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And I had a sign that said "CJ Kiss Me" because he was managing one of the bands that was there. And like literally 2 minutes before midnight, I'm like, we're not going to see him at all. So Sophia and I went to like the other side.
Yes.
And I'm like, there was a random man there. We're freezing our asses off, and I'm like, is that CJ? And Sophia's like, I think it is.
You
And I was
willed
like-
him
I was
there.
like, CJ, and he's like, what? And he sees the sign, and he's looking at me like, because literally it said, CJ, can I have a kiss?
Literally?
And it had a picture of me
She's the
hanging out with
only
CJ
fan
and Howie.
that he
And he
has.
like legit kissed me on the cheek, but Sophia's phone wasn't working.
On the
because
cheek?
Because it was
Didn't
frozen.
try some of that.
I did not. But it was hilarious because then he like kissed my cheek and then took off and went backstage. And then we're like, all right, New Year's is done. And then
There
the
you go.
fireworks went off afterwards. And I was like, fuck yeah, guys.
Fireworks in your heart.
Like, it was good times.
in her
That's
heart
number one
and
fan
in
and
her,
only
in
fan.
And her
reality.
pants.
Yes.
Oh,
Whatever,
right.
guys.
No, I'm in reality.
Anyways, so back. I missed that, and I'm glad.
That's okay. Sorry.
So,
Sorry.
anyways, other fandom rules. I'm trying to think. Do you have any on your list? Any other ones or?
No, I made a small note to say, like, okay, so we didn't grow up in the age of social media, but like these One Direction fans, these in real life fans, these, what's that other boy band that whose name I can't remember?
What do they do?
BTS.
Well, BTS even, but like
there's a band. Yeah. I
I
forget
have a
their
really
name.
strange name.
It started with a W, right? It started with a W.
LFO?
LFO is
Are
not
they
a
a new band?
yeah,
It
like
started with a W, I
oh,
think.
hey.
Like, are they around the same age as in
yeah,
real
yeah,
life?
in
1D?
real life. Like,
Oh, are you talking about Fourth Ave?
No, they were
no.
with One Direction and this other band.
Their
they were
name
like
is something
fighting
weird.
together.
Weird.
Wasn't it like Sunshine of the Butts or something? Wait,
Yeah,
It started
pretty.
with a W, I think.
walking on
heck
sunshine.
are you guys talking
West
about?
End? No.
Sunshine of the Butts and
Yeah,
West
that
End.
was like their name. that was like their
something.
song.
It was
Sun-
like
Are you talking about The Wanted?
No.
yeah, The Wanted and One
That's
Direction.
not who I was talking about.
No, but they were. It was kind of like NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys. You couldn't like those two bands at the same
I
time.
also feel
Pretty much. This is the band I'm thinking of. They're
pretty
called
much. I was going to
much?
say pretty much,
Oh.
but she kept saying W. So
Walking on the sun or something.
Yeah.
Why
What
the Son
are
of
you
the
talking
Butts? I've
about?
never heard of this name.
They were
before.
like they're like a one hit wonder, and like they went with like 1D, and I'm just like they were like their opening band. I'm
Oh,
like,
5 Seconds of Summer.
thank you. Yes.
They-
How did you know what I was talking about?
they are still around. They were just at the MMVAs.
Yeah.
I saw them
Oh,
last week.
Sorry.
buddy.
Sorry.
And they have a crazy fan following. Not as much as Shawn Mendes fans. Woo, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, jeez.
We saw that in person.
What are the Shawn Mendes rules?
I don't. I'm
It's the same thing.
They're
Like,
pretty similar.
honestly, it's the
thing.
same. Like, you have to love everything they do, blah, blah, blah. And it's totally not true.
I'm breathing the
Well,
same
and this
air
is
as
the thing.
him.
So, like, these fans of 5 Seconds of Summer and In Real Life and Pretty Much and One Direction, like, unfortunately, they're coming up and starting to love these bands, and these rules are established from day one.
And
Like-
now people want that interaction. Like, you need to tweet me. It's my birthday, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, there's things
Oh, I don't know
that...
anybody who likes that, eh?
Okay,
Yeah.
Bestie decided to tweet me because I was tweeting him about not going to Mexico. So that was,
Yes.
yeah.
All right. All right.
So
continue.
But
on.
I'm just saying is that people like when Justin Bieber pissed in that bucket.
What?
Do you remember?
Do you
Like
remember? Yeah, I remember this.
he
I
went
remember
through
this.
he went through this like
Yeah.
phase where he was doing bad stuff and
He was,
hanging
like,
out with bad
rebelling
people.
against like,
Oh, I know,
and
like
the
he's
machine
like
kind of thing.
Yeah. What, did you
And
light
but that
something
stuff
on
was
fire?
like instantaneous because of social media and everything. Whereas when the New Kids or Backstreet Boys like trash things, you'd maybe hear about it in a teen magazine later on, but they would try to keep all the good stuff there. Like they wouldn't, it wouldn't be a lot of bad
They gotta
stuff.
sell mags at the end
Well,
of the
and
day.
I'm just thinking, like, going back to the rules, like, even when the show Boy Band was on and girls were, like, becoming fans of all of these young guys, and then they're, like, feeling the need to, like, tweet at Nick Carter and Emma Bunton and Timberland, be like, how dare you
How
say
dare
that
you get rid of
about
J
them?"
hype?
Yes.
Like, that's so unnecessary.
But
It's
the
so
girls are full of
unnecessary.
emotion, and that
Yes.
is what they are going to say because
Yes.
Because I remember back in the day when the boys had girlfriends and stuff like that, people were always like, "Oh, I hate them," and I'd be like, "Do not hate these people because if you were the girlfriend, would you want to be hated upon?"
For sure.
Whereas
Yes.
Diane was the one being the hater. and
Yes.
being
Listen,
She was.
listen. I wanted to date them. Okay, that's why I hated them.
Yeah. They
Which
took
was, like-
what I wanted.
Yes.
But also, like when Joey Fatone's
that's the
girlfriend
one
came up
realistic.
pregnant, it was very like kind of under the radar,
don't tell
right?
about it.
So that really not a lot happened there. But when Louis from One Direction, his girlfriend became pregnant, or friend became pregnant, it became like this thing, and then people were like, "No, this is Photoshop. He's not holding on to the baby, like the shadowing here." Even with Nick, they're like,
Yes.
"Lauren's not really pregnant." I'm like, "No, pretty sure she is, guys." Like.
it's a pillow.
But like some
underneath.
people
I'm
are in
like,
such
man.
denial, and you're just like,
Oh,
okay,
man.
a little bit of a grip on reality would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
So I guess my point is, I mean, obviously all of this is just our opinion. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. And
Right.
that's fine. But you don't have to do these things. You don't have to go on Twitter
Yes.
and hate on everyone who says one negative thing about the boy band that you love. And you don't have to, like, if you like their single and say it's your favorite song. And if you are able to go to concerts, then oh my God, please go. But if you can't,
That's okay
That's
too.
okay.
You're fine. There's no wrong
There's so many videos on
way
YouTube now that
to
you can
be a-
watch feel like you're there. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone.
do you know how many
takes
times I
videos
watched
now.
an NKOTBSB concert on YouTube? It's a wonderful concert. I suggest checking it out.
But yes, there's,
TLDR, don't shame people for their fandom.
yeah,
Yes.
there's no wrong way
You
to
be
be a
you,
fan.
everyone.
Absolutely.
We are almost over time at this point. So we are going to wrap up. Thank you so much for taking a break with us, and we'll see you next time.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.